and welcome to How to Gastro. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a very common and interesting topic, and that is athlete's foot. So let's get started. So what is athlete's foot? Athlete's foot, which is also commonly known as Tinea Pedis, is a fungal infection that usually begins between the toes, but it can also affect the soles or the sides of the feet. It commonly occurs in people whose feet have become very sweaty while confined within tight-fitting shoes. This infection is contagious and can also spread to the toenails and the hands. The fungal infection is called athlete's foot because it's commonly seen in athletes. Athlete's foot is caused by a number of different fungi, including the species of trichophyton, epidermophyton, and microsporum. So from this definition of athlete's foot, we get that it's a very common fungal infection that usually begins between the toes but can actually spread to the soles as well as the side of the feet. And it commonly occurs in people who wear these tight or enclosed shoes on a daily basis, and that's pretty much what athletes do. They're always seen in running shoes, which are usually quite tight-fitting and completely enclose the feet. So there are a number of different fungi that actually contribute to the development of athlete's foot, and the three most common ones are actually trichophyton, epidermophyton, and microsporum. And these are three different species of fungi which can be responsible for the development of an athlete's foot. So now that we know what the basics of athlete's foot is, let's take a closer look at how one can contract this disease. So the athlete foot fungi, which as we mentioned in the slide before, includes trichophyton, epidermophyton, and microsporum, usually exist harmlessly on the human skin. So they are actually part of the normal flora, which can be found between our toes and in the upper layer of the skin that line the feet. So as long as the skin stays dry and clean, their reproduction is limited. However, under damp and warm conditions, they multiply rapidly. So thick, tight, and closed shoes are more likely to trigger athlete's foot because they squeeze the toes together, creating ideal conditions for the fungus to thrive. And experts actually say that plastic shoes, which warm and moisten the feet the most, are more likely to bring on an athlete's foot. So something very interesting about athlete's foot is that it can also be spread through direct and indirect contact. So direct means skin-to-skin contact, and this may occur when an uninfected person touches the infected area of somebody with athlete's foot. So it can actually be transmitted in this way, through direct skin-to-skin contact. This fungus can also be spread by indirect contact, and this means that the fungus can infect people via contaminated surfaces, such as clothing, socks, shoes, bed sheets, and towels. So anything which the fungus can get stuck on, such as socks or even towels that are shared between people, can actually transmit the infection from one person to another. And these are the various ways in which the disease can actually be transmitted. So moving on, let's explore some signs and symptoms. So the athlete's foot actually presents with a specific and unique rash. The rash is usually itchy, scaly, and it's a red rash between the toes, as we can see in this image here. Sometimes small red blisters may also develop, and this is usually found on the soles of the feet or in between the toes. The patients will also experience ongoing dryness and the scaling on the soles of the feet and up on the sides of the foot. And ulcers and sores that leak fluid, smell bad, and look red may also develop. So this is actually an example of what the ulcer looks like. So we can see the ulcer is actually this area of completely destroyed skin in which we have a complete break open, and we have the underlying layers of the skin which now become visible. And it's actually quite painful, it's red and raw, and it can actually smell pretty bad as well. So these are some signs and symptoms of athlete's foot. The diagnosis of athlete's foot. So a doctor may diagnose athlete's foot by the symptoms, or a doctor may order a skin test if they aren't sure a fungal infection is causing the symptoms. The skin lesion potassium hydroxide exam is the most common test for athlete's foot. Here, a doctor scrapes off a small area of the infected skin, as we can see here in this image down below, and places it in potassium hydroxide. The potassium hydroxide destroys the normal cells and just leaves the fungal cells untouched, so that they can easily be picked up and seen under a microscope. So if we go back to that first slide, Once the skin scraping is actually prepared with that potassium hydroxide solution, the slide can be viewed microscopically. So if the fungus responsible for causing the athlete's foot is trichophyton, the microscopic image will look like this. If it's epidermophyton, the microscopic image would look like this. And if it's microsporum, the microscopic image would look like this. So this is the way in which we can actually accurately diagnose this disease. And finally, let's talk about the treatment of athlete's foot. So athlete's foot is treated with over-the-counter topical antifungal medications. There are many OTC topical antifungal medications, including miconazole, terbinafine, clotrimazole, butenafine, and tolnaftate. And these are all the various products which are available to be applied directly over the surface of the rash, and they usually clear the rash within 10 to 15 days. And that brings us to the end of this video on athlete's foot. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you found the presentation very interesting and informative. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And please make sure to turn on your bell notifications so you'll be notified every time we have a new upload. If you'd like to download a copy of this presentation, you may do so by clicking the link in the description. Take care and bye for now.